Hello, and welcome to the TRITOP Essential Line series. This series covers the workflow for the Essential Line, which can basically be divided into three parts: TRITOP Basic, GOM Scan, and GOM Inspect. Now, the next 5 tutorials in this series are dedicated to the photogrammetry workflow in TRITOP Basic. That includes camera settings, preparing your measuring object, how to measure with TRITOP, and how to use the TRITOP Basic software. The remaining episodes explain how to use photogrammetry measurements with GOM Scan and provide an outlook on evaluations in GOM Inspect. Now, before getting into the practical details, let's have a quick look at why you need the TRITOP Essential Line. You need photogrammetry primarily to measure large and complex objects, which is what this series is about. Besides that, photogrammetry also enhances accuracy. Now, back to large and complex measuring objects. As you know, all ATOS sensors have a set measuring volume. When the size of the object you want to measure exceeds this measuring volume, photogrammetry comes in. You can use photogrammetry to capture reference points. You'll then use these reference points to orient ATOS scans in order to digitize large measuring objects. Once you have scanned your object and created a mesh, you can export it and evaluate it in GOM Inspect. Okay, so let's take a closer look at the photogrammetry part, the TRITOP Essential Line. The TRITOP Essential Line is an optical measurement system consisting of a photogrammetry camera and the TRITOP Basic application software. To gain a better understanding of what the TRITOP Essential Line is, let's have a look at how it works. Your goal is to digitize a large and complex measuring object with ATOS. To do that, you need to scan the different surfaces of your object. In order to display the object in its integrity, the software needs to orient these scans. That's why you need uncoded reference points. However, when you measure large and complex objects, you cannot capture enough uncoded reference points in a single ATOS scan for the software to orient your scans. That's why you need TRITOP. With TRITOP, you can capture all the uncoded reference points on your measuring object and their relation to each other. You can then use this point structure that you captured with TRITOP to orient your ATOS scans. So basically, TRITOP provides the outline and the ATOS scans fill in the surfaces of your object, allowing you to digitize it. Now, in order to measure an object with TRITOP, you need uncoded reference points, high precision scale bars, and coded reference points that are positioned on and around your measuring object. The scale bars allow the software to determine the actual size of your measuring object. The explanation for the reference points is a bit longer, so bear with me. When you capture images with a photogrammetry camera, what you really do is capturing reference points. The software then computes the exact 3D coordinates for these reference points on your measuring object. The coded reference point markers allow the TRITOP Basic software to orient all the photogrammetry images you captured. The software can identify the coded reference points in all the different images and determine their fixed relation to each other. Now, the uncoded reference point markers reflect points of interest on your measuring object and will be the same points you'll use for your ATOS scans. After computing their 3D coordinates in the TRITOP Basic software, you can export them and use them in GOM Scan to orient your ATOS scans. Okay, let's briefly sum this up. The Essential Line uses TRITOP, which consists of a photogrammetry camera, scale bars, coded and uncoded reference point markers, and the TRITOP Basic application software. It also uses GOM Scan, which requires an ATOS system to digitize, and GOM Inspect to evaluate large and complex measuring objects. You will use TRITOP to capture 3D points on your large measuring object. You can then export these 3D points and use them to orient the ATOS scans you captured with GUMSCAN. This allows you to digitize large and complex objects with your Essential Line products. As a third step, you can use GUMInspect to evaluate the mesh you've created in GUMSCAN. As you can see, we'll be working our way through photogrammetry, scanning and polygonization, down to inspection using the Essential Line system. The Essential Line provides great flexibility and countless functionalities. And for those of you who want to make their workflow even easier, you might want to consider the ATOS Excel Professional software. That's it for the basic introduction. To learn more about the actual workflow, watch the following episodes in this series.